What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I've had the Megane for about 4 months or so, give or take, and I figured now is probably the best time to have a little chat, me and you, about the things that I do and don't like about the Megane Mark IV RS Trophy. So hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell notification to find your way back. Sorry about the wind. So, starting things off in the interior. Obviously, nice place to sit, but the things that really stand out when you're sat in here is these seats. These Recaro bucket seats are £1,500 extra, but they are absolutely worth every penny. They are supportive, they obviously look nice and full Alcantara, and they just look the part, obviously with the Renaultsport design in the headrest, and the Alcantara finish with the red stitching. Only annoying thing is, I don't know whether it's because the seat is so wide, but you get a bit of a squeak on the centre console with your mothering hips, and then when you have your seatbelt in, sometimes it, don't know if you can hear that, the seatbelt's actual buckle squeaks against the seat, but minor things for such a lovely seat, and like I say, I wouldn't have this car any other way without these seats. So another thing, the infotainment system in general is very, very good. It's quite responsive. It can be a bit slow sometimes, but it's doing it now. For some reason, I don't know why, but when you sometimes first start the car without going onto the DualSense, the neutral sign, well, any of the driver modes are basically gone, and there's no diagram of the car there. But if you were to go on here, say select Sport, and then go back, see, a little bit responsive there, it would be, so it turns up. But I don't know, it's just a minor thing that I just noticed. I don't really know why. It might need a software update, but a bit annoying. One good thing about this is the RS monitor now in the trophies, as far as I'm aware, is included as standard, which is a nice little touch, because a lot of people, especially with coming from the Clio, didn't have RS monitor and had to have it installed and stuff. But obviously, like I say, it can be done either over the internet or over the phone, and it just gets activated, and then it will come up on your app store to download. Something I don't like about this system is that there's no manual controls for aircon or heating on the actual dash here. So when you go across, you swipe across. It's a fairly modern update and stuff, but you have to use the fans from here. So if the screen for any reason is off, or like when it was doing an update once before, you can't actually turn the fans on or off. So a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. But like I say, if it is doing I was on my way to work and the fans were stuck on full heat for 4 speed, and I had to drive with the windows down because the screen was off, so I couldn't turn them off. Bit annoying. So one thing with all these modern cars, annoyingly, is they pump engine sound in through the speakers, or like these fake engine noises. Unfortunately, this car has it, even being a Renault Sport model, this car has it. It's a bit annoying, but at the end of the day, at least they give you the option to turn it off, which I appreciate. So I've got all that stuff turned off, but for if any reason you'd want it, it can come out the speakers. It sounds kind of cool, but at the same time, it's very, very fake. It just doesn't sound anything like a real engine. So, like I say, props for them to letting you turn it off, but just bin it in the first place. Now, obviously, as mentioned, with all the different drive modes, the sport mode and the race mode and stuff, as mentioned in previous videos, also the mood lighting, which you probably can't see very well because of how light it is in here. But it's a very bright sunny day, so you can't see it, so it's more for at night time. But with the mood lighting, changes all of the interior dials and stuff, which I'll put over the screen now. They obviously flick through different modes. Obviously, I've got neutral, sport, race, and then personal. So they're all in different colours, and it's just a nice little touch that you can change all of the dials and all of the readouts to be customised to the mode that you're actually using. So, love it. So getting to some of the exterior stuff that I do and don't like. The wheels I did not like. They looked like this. Didn't like it before, and now I've done them in a satin black finish, because just I've never been a fan of the whole diamond cut thing, and also the red bits as well. They're just not for me, seeing as the car's red as well. There's enough red on it already. So I didn't mind the wheels as such, but as you can see, they look much nicer in one colour, and binning off the diamond cut style and the red at the same time was a result. Also, while we're down here, something I don't like are these tyres. They are the standard tyre that comes with the car, unfortunately, the Bridgestone Potenza S001. They're not the end of the world, but they are loud, and they're just a bit vague mid-corner, I find. Obviously the car's handling is amazing, so like, you know, I can still appreciate that much, but like I say, just a very loud tyre, and I know you could get much more performance out of this car with something like a Michelin PS4S or a Goodyear Eagle F1. So something that deserves an honourable mention is the cheeky Brembos. Now, I didn't have those on my Mark IV Clio, so jumping from kind of like a standard sporty brake to something like a Brembo on these two-piece discs is night and day, really. They're very informative on the pedal, but at the same time, you know, they're not like too biting, they're not snappy. But I mean, haven't had it on track yet or anything like that, so I haven't put them to real testing. But in my previous video where I was doing the old POV thing, if you want to check that out, click up there. In that whole previous video, then you can see that the car got a good beating, and it took it all in its stride. Now, something I didn't like on the car, which obviously as mentioned in previous videos, I got changed, the chrome bits. There was chrome everywhere on this car, door handles, door seals, this little bit here, stuff like that, and the badge and all of the badges and stuff, they were all chrome. Wasn't a fan of that, but obviously that's something I could change, so I did it and it looks way better. So one of the pros to buying the Trophy is that it comes with this valved exhaust as standard, which means you can have it quiet and like, chilled out on like a long journey, or even pottering around town in the neutral modes, or you can then switch over to Sport and Race, which opens up the valve on this side, which then means you can have more of a burble, more rumbles, and then in Sport and Race obviously you've got the overrun and you've got the cracks on the downshift and stuff. And obviously personal, you can do whatever you want. You can have a chilled out mode, or you can have something with everything off, very similar to Race. So this is in neutral. You can probably hear more tyre than exhaust. So if I switch over into Sport, let's come down a couple of gears, a little bit of overrun there. Now the valves are open. Oh, a little turbo flap as well. Oh, that was a lot of overrun. It's popped off more against that wall. But yeah, you see what I mean. And then I don't know if you can still hear it now. And then you press in neutral, where it obviously closes the valve, brings the revs down, softens everything up as it was, you know, softens the brake off, softens the accelerator off, so everything's not as sensitive. But yeah, it's basically an on-off switch. It is the perfect mix for your daily. You know, you can go over, make the noise you want to make, and then go back to neutral and just chill out. So it is, like I say, the perfect mix between being your everyday car. You know, if you want a bit of fun with a couple of little changes on some buttons, and you're there. Let's give you guys some race mode soundtrack. Second gear. This thing still surprises me how it picks up, you know. I mean, I know it's 300 horsepower, what do you expect, but like, when you pair it, it's letting off some right turbo flies. I can't wait to get an open filter on this. It's going to sound mental. That was a massive bang. Now, one of the bad things about this system is, unfortunately, it's a known fault, if anything, that the valve squeaks, which is a bit annoying because it comes, I mean, it just needs a little bit of lubrication, so like just some grease or some WD-40 in there to loosen it up. But on a brand new car, something like a newer car, it's just a bit of an inconvenience because, as well, the valve on this isn't constantly open if you're in Sport and Race, so it'll close on its own accord when you come down to a certain amount of revs. So you're going down the road and you're hearing this eep, all of a sudden it's just the valve closing, which is, again, like I say, just a bit annoying, but it can be avoided. Just you have to kind of keep it greased and keep it well lubricated to stop it happening. So, one thing I wasn't keen on the Clio, but for some reason I don't know why, I don't know if it's because the car's bigger or what, but the Renaultsport fogs, I think, really look the part on this car. I don't know whether it's where the car is a lot more pointier than the Clio was. The Clio was a lot more rounded. I don't know if that's what it is, but I think these RS fogs are right at home here on this final Renaultsport model, because now everything's going over to Alpine, but we'll get into that at a later date. The one thing on this car that you can't deny is its road presence. Everyone that sees this thing being like, she's thick, she's wide, and that is true, especially now it's spaced and lowered as well. The arches flare out a lot wider than the standard version, and in all honesty, now it's, like I say, now it's lowered and spaced, it looks even wider, and it looks awesome. Let's talk about the elephant in the room first, the gearbox. Now, I know the Mark IV Clio didn't get so good of a write-up on the dual clutch, but I can guarantee you this thing is levels on what it was. I'm not sure of the formula that got them to this point, but in neutral and comfort, the shifts are super smooth. When you knock it over to sport and race, they are alert, they are crisp. And sometimes race can be a little bit jerky, sure, if you're at a lower speed, but like I say, that's what sport's for. And obviously the gearbox has the ability now to be able to use sport mode and it actually not go all the way through the rev range. In the Clio, it used to hold gears really long if you were in sport and auto, even no matter what the throttle input was. So a little bit annoying, especially when, like you say, you want to be in sport mode, but you don't want to, like, if you want to be in auto, etc. So I'll put it in auto now. Well, I'm in neutral at the moment. You can see like super smooth gear shifts. I don't even know if you can hear the car, to be fair. But then when I go over into sport, it might come down one gear because I'm on the throttle a bit. But then shift up into fourth gear. It can kind of sense how you want to drive the car by the throttle, and it doesn't try and judge it by the gearbox. Like I say, I'm in 33 mile an hour right now. I'm in a 40. Don't panic. I'm doing 33 right now, and I'm in fourth gear at 1800 RPM. You know, the car. The car kind of knows by your throttle input. Obviously, if I put my foot down a bit more, you can then hear it, and then obviously it pops it down again. But then, like I say, go straight over into neutral, closes the exhaust valve, and chills the car out a lot more. So yeah, the gearbox in this thing is a definite plus for me. Really enjoy it. Enjoy driving an automatic, to be fair. I swore I'd never go back, to be fair, because as a daily, when you get a daily with a good box that does everything you need it to, you know, there's no real reason. Sure, I'd have a manual as a Sunday driver maybe for a little bit of fun, but do I miss throwing gears realistically when a gearbox is this good? Not really. So if you're looking into getting one of these and you're unsure on the EDC, go and drive one and see what you think, because like I say, the shifts are immaculate when you need them to be. They're crisp and they're on the point. Anyone that's been in this has said, you know, the gearbox is way better than the Clio in this. You know, it's the first thing they notice, because obviously a lot of my friends drive my cars. So obviously, potentially might not be a DSG level still, but you know, the gap is a lot smaller than it used to be. You know, like I drove DSG, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it is a very similar feeling to this. You know, the UVAG boys might be, you know, against using a Renault with an auto box and stuff, and I get that, because obviously older cars haven't been exactly had the best write-up. So my recommendation to you, if you like going quick and you're not bothered about throwing gears, definitely get yourself in one of these and have a little go. So another thing with this car, as with any Renault Megane, handling on this thing is honestly next level. Like, so I'll hit this corner here. It's comedy. Like, sometimes I'm lost for words. Everyone I took out on this bit, like, this thing is planted, and that is the only way I can describe it to you. Yes, I've got it lowered. Yes, I've got it spaced, but this thing, even beforehand, was on rails. And you know, again, another good thing, the four-wheel steer. I don't know if it's the four-wheel steer, I don't know if it's the LSD, or everything pieced together, but this thing round a corner is like nothing I've ever driven. And it gives you so much confidence, not in the way to be a dick, but like just to cruise around the corner like that, effortlessly, and just pull you through. It's just an absolute joy to drive, especially after, you know, my last video. Hold on a minute. Especially after my last video, you know, I got to really see what this car has to offer, getting it on a B road. You know, something, like I say, it felt like it was just completely at home on a B road. It was awesome, and it made me realise how hard you'd have to push this car to really make a mistake in it. It's just, the handling is just magnifique. Got a Yaris RS. This thing's it's a special car. You really have to get one. Get yourself on one and have a go. my guess is if you like a car that does everything, you know, I mean, it will probably lose in a straight line to like the new Golf GTI or something like that, sure, but will it outhandle this? Not a chance, not on your Nelly. The way this thing takes a corner is just, I can't even put it into words. You've got to get in one and experience it for yourself. Like I say, anyone that I've taken out for a drive has been like, why is this doing this then? Why is it handling this well around the corner? It's just got so much asserted grip, especially through the mid of the corner as well. Like heads all like the turn in, obviously with the four-wheel steer, middle of the corner just completely flat, and then coming out the corner the LSD just hooks up and it's just off. It's just mental. Power speed. Right guys, so I'm going to end the video there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously smash a like, hit subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell notification to find your way back, because this is just the start. Hit 1,000 subs obviously, which I'm massively stoked about, but things are on the up. Next video hopefully is going to be a big reveal, an announcement to make. I've kept this under wraps and I've been sat on it for weeks, so I literally can't wait to get it out there to you guys and share the joy and share the future of the channel, basically. You know, because this could be a big opportunity for the channel and myself to grow, and obviously bring you guys the best content I can bring you. So yeah, smash a like, hit subscribe, ring the bell notification, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Did you hear that? I swear someone just said one more send. Is it? Yeah, one more? Yeah, no worries, got it.